episode. It's Wednesday at 4 o'clock. And before the finals, we've got a special edition of Who Has the Most to Gain. And that's not all. After Who Has the Most to Gain, it's another special edition of Who Has the Most to Lose.
Oh.
So stay tuned for a double segment.
A little sweet
o'clock.
and sour. That's what we like to do.
Oh,
it worked
like
well
that.
with the Super Bowl. We had a live audience for that. Now we bring it back for the NBA Finals. Number 8, most to gain. The Godfather, Pat Riley. This is going to be just catnip for Brew. Wild is going to be totally bored by it, I think. Passes Jerry West, second greatest executive of all time. Red Auerbach won.
Jerry West.
Pat Riley, number 2. That's what he has to gain. Also, this is his 19th finals appearance, which is an unbelievable record that I don't think anyone's going to pass. Number 7, undrafteds, 4-year college players. Brew pointed this out yesterday, and I think he's absolutely right, that the success of the Miami Heat is going to get the Caleb Martin was awesome in college, was all conference, was 19 a game, and went undrafted, and they, got waived by the Hornets. Yeah. I think those older, established players that maybe don't get drafted because they're not as high upside guys are going to get a longer look by teams. Austin Reeves has helped with that, as you pointed out yesterday. Brew made this point. I thought it was a good one. Number 6, Giannis. Vindication if the Heat win the title. How can you say Giannis can't be the best player in the world because Jimmy Butler beat him, but Jokic gets to be if Jimmy Butler also beats him? It's just an order of operations thing. I'm not sure. But I think if the Heat win, Giannis oddly keeps his best player alive belt. Number 5, Jamal Murray. Different player, but the new Klay Thompson potentially. A transcendent offensive number 1 option. You get to be the number 2, have open shots, get paid basically the same, get none of the criticism, win a title. It's a great life. It is a great, the number 2 option on an awesome NBA team is probably the best life. You get none of the criticism, max contracts are the same. Number 4, Bam. Never discussed. Only 25 years old, averaged 20 a game this year, is top 4 in the league at his position. I think this year he was, for most people, not all NBA because Sabonis, but after seeing Sabonis in the postseason, Bam's stock probably rose somewhat and has an opportunity to be the second best guy on a title team. Number 3, Spo. Already on the top 15 all-time coaches list that the NBA released. Officially, to me, would be the best coach in the NBA. I think he already is, but I think it would be undeniable if he wins this. And building an all-time resume. The coaches, full list of coaches with 3 or more rings. Phil Jackson, Red Auerbach, John Kundla, who did it with the Minneapolis Lakers, Pat Riley, Greg Popovich, Steve Kerr. That's it. He would join that list. Number 2, Nikola Jokic. He would become basically undeniably the best player alive. I think he would cement himself as a top 30 all-time player, and he can only climb from there. Right. As far as guys who are still playing that he could pass. Chris Paul. I think some people would say if he wins it, he already passes him. I would have him right behind him, but Chris Paul. Kevin Durant, who has more, yesterdays than tomorrows in the NBA. This is what happened with Giannis. Giannis was a guy who was already a Hall of Famer and then won the title and did it in such spectacular fashion, he just skyrocketed from, he's a top 75 all-time guy to he's one of the 25 greatest players ever. And then at number 1, of course, would be Jimmy Butler. A total transformation career-wise, resume-wise. There would be no comp to me in NBA history. Some people might bring up Chauncey and the 04 Pistons, but that team, while it didn't have any superstars, had a bunch of very good, long-tenured, established NBA players. Rasheed Wallace was awesome. Tayshaun Prince was awesome. Ben Wallace was awesome. Chauncey was the man and the leader. This is not that. This is Jimmy Butler and friends, and I know he's I don't call them role players, I call them teammates, but we would never have seen anything like it, and while I don't think anyone in the media would say it, Jimmy could step to that microphone and say, I am the best basketball player alive. Oh, I'm sorry, you think it's Giannis? I beat him 2 months ago. You think it's Nikola Jokic? I beat him earlier today. So if they win it, he could play.
No one else. Would anyone else, though, say he's the best basketball player alive?
Well, let me see how it goes.
Once he got the trophies.
He's holding both trophies, but go ahead, bro.
Not good list. I got a team. I mean, you guys may laugh. You weren't watching basketball. You might not have even been born. You weren't born. Rick Barry's 1975 Golden State Warriors. Barry averaged 30.
Made the show.
He averaged 30. No one else averaged 14 points a game. Rick Barry's very underrated.
Yeah,
so I would compare them. The ABA existed, but I would compare them to this Heat team. They only won, I think, 48 games that year, too. So very similar.
Go ahead.
A few changes. I would move Jamal Murray to the third spot.
Oh.
And just move Spo down one because everything you said about Spoelstra was right. But he's already top 15.
Sure.
Many already think he's the best coach in the league. So Murray would become, next year I think he'd be an all-star. He'd get some all-NBA. Assuming he continues to play well,
you can be the first
totally
person to say
rises.
he's going to be a Hall of Famer.
Not yet. No, not going there. But you're right, Klay Thompson. So I would just move him ahead. Here's two. I'm surprised you didn't have these on. Maybe you consider them in the undrafted players. Gabe Vincent and Max Strus. They're both free agents.
Oh, pending
this summer.
free agents.
They're making
$1.8
million.
Caleb
Caleb already signed.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Caleb signed 3 years, $20 million. These Strus they're averaging they're making $1.8 million a year.
Oh.
How much you think they're gonna make if they win the championship?
That's a good
they're
one.
Starting on the championship. So I put them in
$2 million.
instead of Giannis. All right, that championship pedigree goes a long way. Then, where's my man?
Who?
Michael Malone.
Oh, gosh.
How is he not on here? If he
no
leads this team to a
coach ever
championship,
gets fired 2 years later.
Well, he ain't getting fired.
Everybody
They
got fired.
know what Miami knows. Longevity, there is value in that. Stability. He's going to be like a Jerry
How's
Sloan
Nick
there.
Nurse doing?
Michael Malone should be on that list, and I can't
vocal.
Pat Riley, I think one thing you forgot to say, you probably know it, this would be his first championship without super duper duper stars.
Is he a star or not?
disrespecting
We just
Jimmy
need to
Butler.
decide as a show.
No, but one. This is one. Jimmy Butler is one.
Oh,
And
you
he's
mean?
not-
Oh, you're saying without multiple.
Showtime Lakers.
I misunderstood.
LeBron, Wade, and Bosh,
Right.
Shaq,
Shaq
and D
and
Wade.
Wade. Okay.
And with all due respect to Butler, he's not on the level of all those guys
Sure.
except Bosh.
Yep.
All right, so, and I wouldn't put him ahead of Jerry West, though.
Okay. I'm going to go off the board. I'm going to add Steph to the list.
For most to gain?
Steph.
Most to gain.
Why?
If Denver wins. Here's
Okay.
why. Steph's got, like you said, just like Durant, more yesterdays than tomorrow. And you have to look at the facts on the ground if you're Steph. You're like, all right, we lost to Denver 3 times this year. I don't think we can beat them. The team that we lost to in the playoffs got swept. Now, my GM is gone, so we've got a new decision maker in, and Joe Lacob is saying things like this. Take a listen. I mean, it's convenient when the game is to win games. It's nice and simple like that. So the question is, if Denver wins, I feel like Steph can walk into Joe Lacob's office and be like, yeah, we're not as good as them. You need to spend some money, and we need, what, new players or bigger contracts for the guys that we have? It's really a statement and a question.
Yeah, so I just think the Warriors, if they are, I guess the move there is do what they could have done a few years ago, which is take Poole, Kuminga, and Moody and package that for a star and keep Draymond, keep Clay, and have just an incomprehensible tax bill that Joe Lacob previously said he's not willing to spend
Now he is.
and to do those types of things. Yeah, I thought you were actually almost including Steph on a most to lose list because we lost to the Lakers, who lost to the Nuggets, how far away they might be. So I guess maybe it could cut both ways. But speaking of most to lose, my favorite part of it, number 4. Hey, that's my move.
Sorry.
Number 4. You saw him on the most to gain list. Also most to lose. Giannis. If the Heat win, it's good for him. If the Nuggets win, no good, my friend. Jokic takes that best player alive belt from him. Number 3.
I like that one.
Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson?
Yeah.
Wilson.
He'll be a true champion in Denver. He'll have someone like the fans. There we go. The fans will realize, well, you know what? We've always been a football town. We don't need to be a football town.
Wow.
We're a basketball
He's
city.
gonna be
John
front row,
Elway's not walking
front
through
and
that door.
center.
Number 2. You asked for him, Brew. Michael Malone. Oh, we're paying attention now. What? I'm telling you, I really hope that you don't get out-coached by one Erik Spoelstra, because you know what happens when people lose to the Miami Heat. I saw Mike Budenholzer get fired. The Knicks today were like, you know what? The GM, you got to go, pal. Lost to the Heat. We don't know if Mazzulla's going to be back. So he's wanted the attention. We are locked in. I hope those rotations are tight, Coach Malone. And, of course, number 1 on most to lose. None other than Chris Broussard. The curse.
I knew it.
The curse.
I knew it, and there was not a mole. I just figured it out.
Well,
because of the hate.
Because it's not hard to figure. You have picked against the Heat in every single series. You also, by the way, Brew, did not believe in the Nuggets, and now you do. And if they lose after you would join them and the Heat continue on this run, when I think the only team you picked fewer times in this postseason was the Minnesota Timberwolves, it's not going to be great. It'll be undeniable. So Chris Broussard has the most to lose.
First of all, I like that picture you used.
I know.
Thank you for that.
Yes.
All right, but
That's your album cover.
I've had enough of this curse of Broussard.
Well, then start getting
let
stuff
me tell
right.
y'all a little something, because you've been riding off this revisionist history, because the Dallas Mavericks,
Oh, my gosh.
your pick, Dallas was in the Western Conference Final last year. And you picked them to reach the finals, and they don't even make the playoffs. My team, I was with Golden State all year. They got to the second round. You were with Dallas all year. They were watching just like us.
Just like the Nets.
All right, Philadelphia. I was with Boston. All right, Boston at least got to a Game 7 of the Conference Finals. You were with Philadelphia, and I'm bringing. Are these not facts?
They're not.
They're not. You were with Brooklyn.
Brooklyn surrendered. Brooklyn said we are not competing for an NBA championship
And what happened?
anymore.
What happened? They
gave up.
They infected my team.
No.
Yes,
no.
exactly.
My teams made it much farther than yours.
Brew.
Golden State made it further than Dallas. Boston made it further than Philadelphia.
Then why is there no
so there's
curse
no
of
curse
Nick?
of there is a curse of Nick. Because I just haven't sang that. I've been saying that too.
There isn't. There it is. Most to gain, most to lose.
Excellent. I had Denver all along.
No.
Coming up, is the baby goat over the sophomore slump? Sure, I'll read that one.
Uh-oh. Somebody's about to bail.
Sometimes they put incendiary teases in there for me.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.